If you've been gardening for a while, you know the feeling. You give your plants everything: good soil, sunlight, water, maybe even fertilizer, and still, the harvest is just okay. Not bad, not great, just fine. But every once in a while, we gardeners stumble onto something that feels almost magical, something simple, natural, and powerful that transforms plants from doing all right to bursting with life. For me, that magic came in the form of a humble, homemade liquid that nearly every kitchen produces without a second thought, yet most people throw it away, and once I started using it, my plants didn't just grow, they exploded with growth, vigor, and yield. The liquid I'm talking about is fermented rice water. Stay with me. Not the plain rinsing water you pour out right away. I mean, we're talking about properly cultured, microbe-rich fermented rice water that feeds your soil biome, the living community beneath your plants, better than most store-bought fertilizers ever could. This one change turned average tomato plants into, honestly, walls of fruit. My peppers became heavy enough to bow branches, and the leafy greens, let's just say we were giving bags away. Today, I'm sharing exactly how I make it, why it works, and how you can use it safely for any plant in your garden, no matter your climate or experience level. Plants don't eat fertilizer directly, let that sink in. They rely on microbes, tiny unseen workers living in your soil, to break down nutrients into forms roots can absorb. If soil life is weak, your plants will always struggle. You can dump all the fertilizer you want, and still get poor results. Fermented rice water works because it, feeds the soil life first. When rice water is fermented correctly, it becomes loaded with lactic acid bacteria that protect roots from disease mineral ionizing microbes that unlock nutrients already in your soil, beneficial yeasts that stimulate plant hormone production, and amino acids that encourage lush, steady growth. In other words, this liquid strengthens your soil's immune system, boosts nutrient availability, and supports steady plant growth, all without chemicals. If your soil has been tired, compacted, over-fertilized, or simply unloved, fermented rice water wakes it back up. And the plants respond like they've been waiting for this moment. This is where most people go wrong. They rinse rice and water it down into their soil immediately. Sure, that can help a tiny bit, but it's nothing compared to fermenting it. Here's how to do it correctly. First, rinse 1 cup of rice, any type you like, with 2 cups of water. Swirl it around until the water looks milky. Next, strain the water into a clean glass jar. So, for step 3, you want to cover your container lightly. Definitely don't seal it airtight. The microbes, well, they need air to do their thing. A cloth or a loose lid usually works best for this. Next, place it in a warm, shaded spot for about 24 to 48 hours. After a bit, it should start to smell just a little sour, kind of like yogurt or bread dough. Once it begins to show tiny bubbles, the fermentation has begun. You now have a live microbial starter. To make it even more powerful, go ahead and dilute it one more time. Mix 1 part fermented rice water with 10 parts clean water before applying. This ensures the microbes are available, active, and not too strong for young roots. So, you want to use it as a soil drench. That means you should pour it right around the base of the plant, not on the leaves. Go ahead and apply it every 10 to 14 days during the growing season, just to keep things consistent. And, the best time to apply is in the early morning or late afternoon. Aim for slightly moist soil, not bone-dry ground. If your soil is healthy, you can expect to see shinier, thicker leaves within 7 to 10 days, a deeper green coloration, faster flowering, and a tighter fruit set. If your soil has been struggling, give it 3 to 4 applications. Trust the process. You are rebuilding life here, and that doesn't happen in a single day. When I first tried fermented rice water, I used it cautiously, just on one bed of tomatoes and peppers. Within 2 weeks, those plants had fuller foliage than the other beds. They weren't just green, they were rich green, vivid, alive. Flowers didn't just appear, they stayed. The fruit set was dense and even. By the time harvest season came around, that one bed, produced nearly double what the others did. The next season, I just didn't hold back. Everything got a turn. So, here's what I noticed. Tomatoes had fewer blossom end rots and more uniform fruit. Peppers grew stronger stems and gave a heavier yield. Cabbage and kale, tighter heads and thicker leaves. Root crops showed smoother skin and, honestly, a deeper flavor. And seedlings? They established faster with way less transplant shock. So, the best part? Well, this didn't require any special fertilizers, expensive composts, or, those store-bought solutions. It actually came from something I already had in my kitchen. On Soil Power, we talk a lot about one simple truth: healthy soil makes everything easier. Fertilizer feeds plants, microbes feed soil. And soil feeds everything. When we support the invisible world under our feet, the visible world above the soil responds with abundance. Fermented rice water isn't a trick, a hack, or a gimmick. It's a method that aligns with natural farming principles used for hundreds of years around the world. It honors life instead of bypassing it. And most importantly, it works. This liquid is powerful, but only when used correctly. Remember, don't use it daily. Every 10 to 14 days is perfect. So, don't apply to dry soil. You'll want to water lightly first. And hey, don't use strong, undiluted fermented rice water. It may overwhelm young roots, Also, don't store it long term. Make fresh batches regularly. Microbes are living after all. Treat it like yogurt for your soil. The fresher, the better. Whether you're just starting your first garden bed or you've been growing for years, fermented rice water has something to offer. It's natural. It's simple. It works with the living systems nature already built. And your plants? They will thank you, with color, strength, and harvests that surprise you. So give it a try. 1 jar, 1 watering, 1 step. Then watch closely. You'll see the difference.